in Asia. All right.
There
so
it is.
Here's the operating margin. Okay. I mean, is this supposed to be impressive, Jonas? Like, am I supposed to be impressed by this?
No, but it also speaks to the fact that they're spending about the same amount of money, and they are, well, relatively speaking, they're making about the same amount for the money that they're spending.
Right. So congrats for towing the line, maybe. Right. And once again, this is in their parks experience and product segment. So we don't know how they've divided out the assets and liabilities between these two segments and how they're presenting this information. Is this just present case information? Have they shifted certain liabilities off the books? You know, what's going on here, right? We do not know. Okay, here we go. Now we start to get the interesting ones. Okay, so strong results from investments. I could not keep myself together on this. Okay, so you've got back in FY03, you've got Mission Space, Tower of Terror, Soaring, Everest, Toy Story, Little Mermaid, Cars, New Fantasyland, Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. You see Guardian of the Galaxy and Pandora, then Galaxy's Edge, and then a huge dip, and then we're back with Tron, Runaway Railway, Cosmic Guardians of the Galaxy, Cosmic Rewinds. Yeah, I don't know if these are that attributable to the investments in the parks. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure at all. I'm not sure these things are tracking, right? Because you can even see, if you look at them closely, if you look at this closely, like when Toy Story came in, it's like, well, there was a dip there, right? I mean, Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, look, I mean, I think it's an okay ride. It's not great. It's not bad, but I certainly don't think these increases are due to the micro effects or the micro changes to the parks. I think there's more things going on in the macro, right? In the macroeconomic sense that are causing these increases, or rather these effects in operating income.
The question that I would have at this point is, what is the effect of a park ticket in general on this, as opposed to the individual things that you're getting into? I've never been to Pandora. I've been to Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. I've been to Toy Story Land. I would say
you've never been to Pandora ever? Like, no, not at all.
No, I'm a Floridian, so I've been to Animal Kingdom several times. It is very, very hot.
Yes.
And generally speaking, I'm not that impressed with it. So now that I visit Florida, I'm trying to maximize it. And plus I've got a bunch of kids. So Magic Kingdom and Hollywood Studios is where it's at there. We did go to Epcot, and I saw all of the walls. But
Walcott, yes.
Yeah, we didn't get a chance to go back to Animal Kingdom. As awesome as Kilimanjaro Safari is, and as amazing as I hear that Pandora is, I'm not going to pay $180 per person for those two things just yet, because really that's what it is. It's the price increase at the parks. The absolute question here is Disney, do they need to make this investment in order to keep people coming into the parks, or do they just need to fix some problems?
Yes, and that is a great question, because frankly, like, for example, as Steve says, if they just planted some more trees and or some shaded areas at Animal Kingdom, that would go a lot further than building an entire new land, right? They don't need to go out there and build an entire land. They just need to make improvements, right? And by the way, Animal Kingdom, my sort of cycle there was to go to Kilimanjaro, Everest, and then when Pandora was there, okay, maybe if the Avatar ride was short, but it almost never was. So I would just do Expedition Everest when I had an annual pass when I was working around there. I would go to Kilimanjaro, the safari, and then Expedition Everest, and I'd get out of the park because it was hot, it was busy.
There's not much else there.
Yeah, it's kind of boring. So I just get out of the park. I mean, it's one of those that if you can do it in the morning or something and knock it out, and then go to then just kind of chill at Epcot, that's kind of a good duo there, right? Just, okay, you do everything you want, and then just Epcot, you're just walking around, drinking around the world, that sort of thing. That was like the typical, if I was doing Animal Kingdom, the thing I would do. But obviously with kids, that sort of thing is off the it's really off the table. You can't do that.
There's no chilling at a Disney park anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
Unless you have passes, and if you're not paying per day, then it's a whole different experience.
Okay, so here we go. Tremendous per capita guest spending growth. Okay, once again, can we get more disingenuous? Okay, so FY 2019, then you've got some growth to FY 2022 with per capita spending. So earlier I played this TikTok video, and this goes back to the one I played right in the beginning. And if you guys want to go check that out, rewind and go right to the beginning, you'll see that there was this guy from Paris, and he had this TikTok video which just went viral on how he spent $1,200 US on park tickets for his family, and then on top of that ended up spending another couple $100 for the express passes, which doesn't include food, which is running several hundred a day, and then souvenirs, which can get in the hundreds as well. So you're looking at trips that are clocking out at several $1,000s for a family. Jonas, I know that you have a fairly large family. You've been quite fruitful. Yeah. So I mean, you can put the costs at. I mean, I think saying that if you're doing a weekend at Disney in Florida and Disney World in Florida, you're staying at a hotel. I think $3,000, $4,000 might not be unreasonable for the total cost all in for your vacation.
Right, it would be unreasonable for me personally, but
no, as an estimate, right?
Yeah, as a market rate for that, yes, I would say about $3,000. That being said, you don't have to spend that much money to have a good time in that area. I dropped some jaws the other day when I told people that you can go to Universal Studios if you get the right deal. You can go to Universal Studios for 5 days for $250 per person for the entire week. So this is why I'm loving Universal right now, is because it's low stress. Sorry.
Yes.
That's me. That's me being a cheap dad.
To worry about. Yeah. No, absolutely. Yeah, if there's any other place to go, you're going to go that you can go for cheaper, and it's honestly not the best. It's not the best option. It's not the best option in Orlando by far, right? There's many other options. I'm not even going to give a shout out to SeaWorld. I know that it is, but like even SeaWorld has stepped up their game.
Yeah.
Right. Comparatively to Disney.
Busch Gardens as well.
And they're right there. Yeah, Busch Gardens. Busch Gardens is a farther drive, right? So I can see somebody saying, okay, I'm in Orlando, right? I want to go somewhere else. Well, instead of spending maybe all those days at Disney, you lop off a couple of those. You end up at SeaWorld, Universal Studios. Shit, the Holy Land experience is looking good compared to this. Or Fun Spot. Actually, seriously though, check out Fun Spot. Check out a lot of those, attractions that are just there, like those rides. This might be fun for your family. Might have a better time at International Drive than in Disney.
So on this,
I like this, Steve here. Worst hamburger I ever had was the Sci-Fi Drive-In in the theater at Hollywood Studios. Cheap meat, raw, served in darkness, puke. There's a reason why that is a dark restaurant. We'll just put it that way. There's a reason why it's a dark restaurant. Oh man, that's funny. Yeah, or you can crash at Gosney's place. That is true. It is a big cost reduction to crash at Steve Gosney's place,
whether or not he's there.
Yes. But yeah, okay. So the per capita is up. All right. This one got me dying here. Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, sorry. Okay, sustained IP investments. Cars, Toy Story, Frozen, Star Wars, Avatar, Mickey Mouse, Avengers, Guardian of the Galaxy, and Tron. Okay. So they're trying to say they've had a massive uptick in income, in operating income and return on operating income from these properties. Once again, I think this is a false association.
Yes.
And I think trying to say that's like, to me, trying to argue in any world that Star Wars Galaxy's Edge has been profitable for you is like Pinocchio level lying here. Like, it's pants on fire bullshit to think that Toy Story or Cars or Avatar or whatever else was solely the issue. Now, I will say, when there's a new land, there is a temporary bump in visitors who want to come back and check out that land. But in terms of sustained growth, I just don't see that as a huge thing, particularly with any of these lands or any of these things that are mentioned here.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that dedicating an entire, except for Avatar, because Avatar you kind of have to do the whole land. I don't think dedicating an entire land to a franchise is a great idea. Toy Story Land, it gets very strained. I mean, Slinky Dog Dash, okay, yes, that's a great ride, but outside of that, you could theme those to almost anything, or you could do multiple IPs in the same space, not the same ride, but in close proximity to each other. I guess they're talking about Mickey's Runaway Railway with Mickey Mouse. I guess,
but you're mentioning a good theme here, though, Jonas, which is that it seems like these guys are lauding the lands for maybe one or two successful rides. But to me, what always has stuck out to me in the Disneylands is they'll have one ride that's like super high volume, and then two or three others that like kind of nobody cares about. Or they'll have, let's say 2 rides and a show, and like no one cares about the show, or no one cares about, the other extraneous stuff. They'll just come for one thing, like you said, Slinky Dog Dash, and then just bounce out of Toy Story World. That's the only reason why they're in Toy Story World, and boop, they're gone.
Yeah.
I feel like that's not as successful or as profitable as it could be. To me, every ride should be a must ride, when you go to like a land, or when you go to a theme park. You should want to go on all of them. Which is what I think Magic Kingdom used to be, which is, hey, you go there and you try to hit all the rides, or at least all the major rides, right. in Magic Kingdom, right? You're not just selectively picking and choosing.
And if I can complain about this IP strategy, Pirates of the Caribbean, Haunted Mansion, Figment, all of those things, they will not exist under the current model. If they were coming up with this today, they would launch a movie franchise that maybe we like it, maybe we don't. But they're going to do the ride based off the movie franchise before they would come up with something interesting and new, like Orange Bird, or I don't know, just any Country Bear Jamboree. I mean,
they're actually, that one, I don't know if you've heard, they are updating Country Bear Jamboree, but they're going to be playing more Disney IP songs.
Yes.
So the Country Bears are not going to have their kind of original stuff. I mean, they're going to be singing, for all we know, Under the Sea, or whatever else, like Magic Carpet Ride stuff. I mean, we're gonna be hearing about stuff that's gonna be completely, I don't want to say anachronistic, but it's gonna be kind of feel wrong. It's not gonna have that Country Bear folksy vibe.
Yeah, who's not just chomping at the bit to hear Big Al sing Scuttlebutt?
That's exactly right. No, seriously though, I will not be surprised if we got Scuttlebutt up in that. It'll be absolutely a travesty. And look, the people that love Country Bears really love Country Bears. The people that want to go to it a lot. And you're going to drive away that core audience, which is pretty much the only audience, the main audience. Easy007 says Disney is in the business of selling fantasy, so nothing new here. Fantasy numbers. Yeah, well, there's a point at which it becomes a little problematic. And Jonas, I know you got to go shortly, so I'm gonna. This video has been a clip of a previous live stream, and it's clipped so you can get the information in a shorter, compact package, the information you need. If you want the full video, the whole context, the whole thing, you can check out the full stream. That is in the link below. Check that out, and I will catch you guys later. Peace.